This isn't the video you were gonna get this week, but I'm really mad, so it's the video you're gonna get. Today, I have no script. I wasn't even planning on filming right now. We're gonna be talking about my journey as a person with a disability trying to obtain services to get a modified wheelchair accessible vehicle. So if you don't know anything about me, hi, my name is Marissa. I am disabled. I am a full-time power wheelchair user. You can see me here. This is what I look like in my power wheelchair. Her name is Dora because she's an explorer, obviously. Dora is my custom $40,000 power wheelchair that I need because I have muscular dystrophy, which is a progressive condition that causes my muscles to slowly weaken over time, and therefore I'm losing abilities. And Dora's giving me those abilities back. However, she weighs 400 pounds, and currently I drive a Honda Fit. So it's of no surprise that I can't put my 400-pound wheelchair in my Honda Fit. How shocking. My custom power chair is really important because it has a lot of seating functions and cushions and things on it that help support my body, my weakening core. It gives me a lot of abilities that like a manual chair or my travel chair doesn't give me. Right now, when I leave the house, I have to use my travel power wheelchair. And I made a video all about it. You can watch it, I think it's over here. You can watch it. I'll put a card here. I'll also link it down in the description if you want a tour of my travel power wheelchair. So my travel chair is essentially, it's 50 pounds, and I have a little like crane lift in the back of my car that I attach to the back of the middle of the travel chair, and then it folds, and then I just shove it into the back of my car. In order to do this, I have to stand up, first of all, which is very, very difficult, and honestly at this point, pretty painful, and it's dangerous. I am quite a fall hazard. When I stand up, which you can watch in that video if you go watch it, I look like I'm about to snap in half, and it feels like that. So every time right now that I want to go somewhere, say to work or the store or out to brunch with friends or yada, 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 anywhere that I want to go, I need to load and unload my travel chair when I get there. And so if you're not aware, there are these things called wheelchair accessible vehicles. They're generally vans, minivans, and they have a ramp in them. Their passenger door will open and then a ramp will come out the side, allowing a person in a wheelchair to come in and out of those freely. Now, I always thought, like, before I started using a wheelchair, like I said, my condition is progressive, so I've only been a wheelchair user for about 4 years now. And I only ever knew one wheelchair user growing up, my friend Carly, and her family didn't have a wheelchair accessible van, and I didn't think anything of it. Well, now I certainly do. So I always thought that these vans would be easy to get, or like just like buying any other car. Boy, was I wrong. So I don't know if you know anything about wheelchair accessible vans, but they're very, very expensive. In order for me to get a van with all of the modifications that I would need to drive independently, at this point with the progression of my condition, I'm going to be needing not just the ramp, but hand controls, low effort braking, things like that. So I can't just even go buy any random wheelchair accessible van. I need more particular equipment for me, for my specific disability. We've been quoted for this vehicle with all of these options at $106,000. I don't know about you, but I can't afford a $106,000 vehicle. That's like another mortgage. That's ridiculous. And I can't afford a $2,000 a month car payment. I'm sorry, I just can't. So you see, this dilemma that I've been met with here is I need this van to maintain my independence, my employment, my participation in society. I need it to continue being a member of society, let alone a productive member of society. And the cost is just so prohibitive. This will take us into part 2, which is what I planned to do about it. Every state has this agency called vocational rehabilitation. In Michigan, it's called Michigan Vocational Rehabilitation Services. It's abbreviated as MRS. So I'm going to be using MRS to refer to them from now on. But it's like, basically what they are is a state agency that is federally funded. They're mandated by the Rehabilitation Act of 1973 to exist. And their goal is to support people with disabilities in obtaining and maintaining employment. Now, as you can imagine, I need my wheelchair to function and to exist, and therefore I need to be able to get it to work. You would think that this would be justification enough to get support for that from an agency that is meant to help people with disabilities obtain and maintain employment. No, I guess not. So I know this kind of been a little rambly, but I wanted to jump on here and rant to you all about how hard this is. I first started this process to help get support for an adapted vehicle in May of 2022. I am not great at math, but that's like a year and a half ago. And I still don't have this van. And I'm gonna do a whole video about it. Once I finally get the stupid van, I'm gonna do a whole video about it, about the whole process, but I'll just give you the TLDR for now. So basically, the system's not really set up to help people like it claims to be. Every resource that I've read has said, do you need help with an adapted vehicle? You should contact your state's vocational rehabilitation services agency. And so I did that, thinking that, this will be a long process. There will be hoops to jump through, of course there should be evaluations to make sure that, one, I guess you need what you're getting. But like I've said before, people aren't just out here faking it, okay? No one just goes through this to try and scam the system. No, that doesn't happen. So to make sure that you need it, and two, to make sure that you're getting what you need. So throughout this process, I've had evaluation upon evaluation. It's been a year and a half of being pushed and pulled around, and I still don't know if I'm actually going to get support for the van. It took about 10 or 11 months to even get the process of getting me evaluated started, because I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea. I don't know what's happening. This process has been cloudy and confusing. The modifications to my vehicle are like 60% of the cost of the vehicle. I have to pay for the base vehicle for like the chassis. And even that is like, there's an equity issue here. I want to talk about the inequities that surround existing as a person with a disability in this area. Okay, transportation. And transportation, therefore equating to participation in society, being able to work, things like that. Like I said, when I was a kid and I would see wheelchair accessible vehicles, I didn't think anything of it. Not even when I was a kid. When I was an adult, before I started trying to get one, I had no idea how expensive they were and how hard it would be to get support to get one. Because I thought, they're everywhere. They must be, economically accessible. They are certainly not. I don't know how people purchase them without support from some kind of external entity, unless you're independently wealthy. It's actually a joke that I tell a lot of people when I'm ranting to them about what I've gone through in the process of trying to get this van, that I tell them, if you're ever planning on becoming a wheelchair user, make sure you're independently wealthy first. It'll help a lot of things. Just a little joke for myself. So yeah, unless you're independently wealthy, I don't know how anyone affords these vehicles. And people with disabilities are already underemployed. The unemployment rate for people with disabilities is much higher than those for people that are not disabled. And if you're a person with a disability already getting support from the government like SSI or SSDI, you can only have $2,000 in assets at a time. You have a cap on your income. And it's certainly not going to allow you, even if you can work, it's certainly not going to allow you to purchase a $106,000 vehicle. That's like a Porsche. I can't afford a Porsche. So where the equity comes into it for me is, first of all, just the amount of time and money I would have for other things. If I were not disabled This is not something I would need to pay for. If I were not disabled and making the same, and my household was making the same amount of money, we could spend that on other things that we like or want, or, the other things that non-disabled people spend money on. What do y'all spend money on? Cruises? We go on a cruise. But instead of a cruise, we have to buy a minivan. How is that fair? How's that fair? I just think of all of the money and the time. I hear people say a lot that being disabled is a full-time job. It's really true. It takes so much time to battle with insurance, to battle with state agencies for support, to just manage your everyday living and tasks. It takes so much time and it takes so much money. I don't think I can, I don't think it takes so much money. It's so expensive. Like I said, my power chair, $40,000. I had really good insurance at the time from my employer when I got this chair. And that was a whole other thing. Maybe I'll tell a story about that someday. But if I didn't have good insurance, this chair could have cost me 5, 10, 15, 20 grand. Or 40 if I didn't have any insurance, That's, who can afford that? That's like a brand new, really nice car that I would have to have bought. So I just want to highlight the inequities that I'm facing here. If I didn't have a disability, I would drive my 2012 Honda Fit into the ground, okay? It's paid off. It's a lovely, wonderful car. But because I am disabled, because I use a power wheelchair, because I have this physical need, I have this expense of purchasing this brand new minivan. That purchase alone is going to be, 50 grand. Do you have an extra 50 grand? I don't. I could be like, oh, I don't want to seem like, poor me, but I need people to understand, even though I am very fortunate in life. I've always had very supportive parents. I have a loving, supportive husband. We are financially stable. However, that does not take away from the inequities and the barriers that I face because society is inaccessible and because things are so cost prohibitive. Even for me, in a double income household, we can barely afford these things. So I can't imagine how someone's doing it alone or how people that make less money than we do these things. Just imagine, I want you to, if you can't relate to what I'm talking about, I want you to put this image in your head. I want you to imagine this scenario. Put on your imagination hat. Here we go. What would you do if there was a troll in your car keeping your keys hostage? And in order to go anywhere in your car, you needed to pay the troll $106,000. Now, this is a common problem that people have, this troll in their car hiding their keys. So there are government support programs that are supposed to help you get financial support to pay off the troll so it will give you your keys back so you can get in your car and you can go to work, or you can go to a friend's house, or you can go out to eat, or you can go wherever. So you go out to your garage one day, this troll is in your car, it has your keys. You're like, shoot, I gotta go get some support to get this troll out of my car. And then you go and you apply and you wait, and then you have initial intake meetings, and then you wait some more, and then they have to get your case approved through management. Well, is there really a troll in your car? Are you sure? Are you sure there's a troll in your car holding your keys hostage? How big is the troll? Couldn't you just fight it and get your keys back? And then eventually, when they decide that, okay, there's a basis, there's a premise that you're telling the truth, there's actually a troll in your car, it's actually stealing your keys. We're gonna continue to evaluate your case. Then you go and have some evaluations. Someone comes to your house to check out the troll in your car to make sure it's actually there, to measure the troll and see how much, I don't know, this metaphor is really getting out of hand. But the point is, it's been a year and a half and the troll is still in your car, it still has your keys, and you haven't been able to go anywhere. That includes work. I'm really lucky that I still have the level of function that I do and that I can still manage, even though it's painful and dangerous and a struggle, I can still manage to get my travel chair in and out of my car and drive my car as it is with the troll in it. I'm losing the metaphor. But there are so many people out there that can't do that. That if they were in my same situation, I think the troll would just stay in their car forever, and they'd have to give up working, and they'd have to go on government assistance. And I could imagine this ruining someone's life, not being able to get this assistance in a timely manner. And it happens all of the time. It happens every day. And I've gotten the feeling throughout this whole process that they're trying to make this difficult to make me give up. They're trying to make me give up so that they don't have to give me the support that I need to maintain employment, to stay functioning in society, to be a happy, healthy, well-rounded person. They want me to give up. And I know this because there's no standardized process for what I'm going through. At least there's different branches of this agency throughout every state. But the branch that I'm going through, they want me to give up. They want me to see that troll in my car, and they want to duct tape the doors shut so that I can't get it out. I really need to stop with the troll metaphor, but you get what I mean. Luckily, I was raised with the skills to advocate for myself. For a very young age, my parents taught me how to speak up for myself, how to advocate for myself, how to know that I am worth support, and how to keep asking for it. And as the late Judy Heumann said, if you don't demand what you need for yourself, you're not gonna get it. So I've continued on, and we're a year and a half in. But I could see how someone would have given up. I could see how someone's life could have been ruined by this process. And that is so wholly unfair. Whereas if I didn't have a disability, if I weren't in this inaccessible world, and I needed a car, I could, even if I were like really financially strapped, I could probably go find some old junker to get me around town until I could save up enough money to get a better car. That's not what's happening here. My car works just fine, but not for me. And in order to get something that works for me, I need to shell out $106,000. I need support for that, wouldn't you? I don't really have any kind of ending message other than the system is rigged and I hate it here. I guess I just kind of wanted to raise awareness for people that wheelchair accessible vehicles are really expensive and they're hard to get. So the next time you see one on the road, just know that like every van probably has a story behind it. So anytime you're out there and you see a nice bronability tag on the side of a minivan, just know that person probably went through hell to get that vehicle. And that vehicle is precious to them, and it gives them independence and life in a way that I don't know if people that can just drive regular cars really understand. We're very car dependent, especially in the part of Michigan where I live. So basically, if you don't have a car, public transport is really not an option. Trust me, I looked into it. Yeah, so I just wanted to make this video to let everyone know that I want to punch the government and that I'm upset about this whole situation. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk, and I'll catch you next week, maybe with some informational video about disability employment rights and laws and stuff like that. Yeah, so like this video if you like this video. Leave me a comment if you've ever struggled with getting state support, or if you drive a modified van and you've got a story behind it. I would love to talk to you about it. You can click over here to subscribe if you want to see some more thrilling content, and you can click over here to watch a video. If you want to come outside with me, you can click this video over here. All right, until next time, friends, be well, and don't forget to get outside, and I'll see you next time. Bye.